Hey guys, Blake here from Fantasy World Order, and today I'll be going over the transfers I've done since the league postponement and transfers I'm looking to make before the league kicks back off. So let's have a look at the transfers I've made and why I've brought those players in. So I've brought in Fernandes, Maguire, Saka and Baldock, and I've taken out Barnes, Robertson, Jorginho and Chilwell. I'd just like to say it's important to know that we still are getting one free transfer each Saturday, and game weeks are still going ahead even though we're scoring 0 points. So it's important to use those transfers on players you want to get in and move along the deadwood players within your team, as it's a time you can prepare for the future and get ahead. So the first transfers I made since the postponement was bringing in Saka and Baldock for Jorginho and Chilwell. The reason I brought in Saka and Baldock is because Arsenal, Sheffield, Man City as well as Aston Villa all have one extra fixture remaining. So it's important to aim for the key players from those 4 teams, as that extra fixture can come handy. Might be another double game week or even a triple game week. We'll find out later down the line, but the extra fixture means extra points for us. From those 4 teams, I would still avoid Aston Villa players. However, when we look at Man City, Arsenal and Sheffield players, I do believe the Sheffield defence is really solid. I've tripled up personally. I do like Edison from Man City, as well as De Bruyne and Aguero. And from Arsenal, Saka, Leno, Aubameyang do look like good picks. So then the next moves I made were bringing in Fernandes and Maguire for Barnes and Robertson. Robertson was a bit of a cash cow. It was hard to let go of him, as he's been amazing all season, so consistent. However, I do think Fernandes has a higher ceiling for the rest of the season, has really good fixtures. And he's improved Man United a lot, which is why I've also brought in Maguire, who hopefully the clean sheets will come, as well as the set piece threat he provides. So having a look at the team now, my next move I'm thinking of making is Jota to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin's been on fire all season. Jota also has good fixtures, so do Everton, but I think Calvert-Lewin edges it a little bit and will continue to score all the way to the end of the season. After I make that move, I'm happy to let a few weeks pass, maybe burn a few free transfers, as sometimes making moves just for the sake of it can actually damage your side. Initially over this period where there are no games, I think it's important to just make transfers that are the obvious moves, get in players that you think will be playing and are the key men for their teams, and get rid of players who are the complete opposite of that and are not getting minutes, may be suspended. So after initially moving deadwood players from your team, it is then an opportunity to look at strategy to propel yourself up the ranks. So we have players returning from injury such as Kane, Sane and Pogba, and moving towards these players is a risk, however could propel you up the ranks towards the end of the season. Heung-min Son from Tottenham will also be returning, and he also looks like a good pick to bring in. He's shown good form throughout the season. Hopefully Tottenham can be back scoring with him and Kane in the side. With not many game weeks left in the season, people like taking more risks, and it's important to start looking at the lower owned players to try and get yourself up the ranks. I personally wouldn't recommend getting rid of the highly owned players such as Trent, De Bruyne and Salah. However, players at around 20% ownership mark, you can maybe look to move them on and find a high ceiling, low owned player. A strategy I have used over the years towards the end of the season is pretty much playing safe and letting other managers make the mistakes. We find managers make desperate moves to climb the ranks quickly at the end of the season, often failing and backfiring on them. It is always important to look at risk versus reward. I would recommend, if you are looking to take a risk, take risks on players mid to low value. I find the 6 million price range in the midfield is a really good range to be flexible with. So at the moment I have Sarr, but as soon as he shows poor form, I can easily move him on for another player around the 6 million and take a punt on someone. And in the defense around 5 million, Ender Stevens for me, he's really easy to change to someone else around the price range and take another risk on someone. So these are the players that I like to take risks with, rather than high-end players, high-value players like Salah, De Bruyne and Trent. I'd rather take risks on the lower-end players, more low risk, with a high ceiling at the same time. Another player I really want to get into my team is Martial. I'm not too sure I'll be able to find a way to fit him in at that 8 million price point. It's a bit hard. However, he looks really solid, so a double up with Fernandes and Martial looks like a really solid option at the moment. I do also really like the Wolves defense. Looking at Saiss, Bolly and Doherty, I think they are good options. I'm just not really too sure who I'd move on from my defense. Maybe upgrade Lascelles to Saiss, that would be a good move. However, towards the end of the season, I don't really want to have much value on the bench. I'd rather have a really strong 11 with 1 or 2 subs that I know are there for backup with rotation. So I'm currently happy with the value I have on my bench at the moment, with solid subs at a cheap price. The extraordinary circumstances that we're going through at the moment have provided us dedicated FPL managers with an opportunity to finish the season really strong and take advantage of this break that we have just now. Why not make a few smart transfers, build our teams to be stronger for when the Prem kicks back off, and finish the season really strong. We all spend so much time in FPL, so when the Premier League does kick back off and the season resumes, we don't want to look back at this period now as a missed opportunity to make our teams better and give us the opportunity to finish the season off at the highest rank possible. Anyway guys, thanks for tuning into Fantasy World Order. It's been a pleasure. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you. Peace out.